If GitHub is your version control tool of choice and you're not making use of some of the amazing GitHub actions or free marketplace apps, then I bet you £1 million that your code is as optimized as it could be. Or you're probably wasting a load of time faffing about doing tasks you don't need to. So we're going to fix all that with the next 10 minutes. So what we're going to learn in this video is 5 to 6 of the best apps available on GitHub. You can store many of these for free as long as you have public repositories. And after you get them, you're going to have things like automatic security scanning, automatic code reviews, productivity time tracking, image optimization, and a whole bunch more. So if you're not making use of these, this, my friend, is the video which is for you. Before moving on, it's also worth me pointing out another amazing way that you can automate your life, and that is by smashing on the subscribe button so you don't lose this content. And if you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, click on the like button and I'll be forever grateful. And as a little reward for doing that, I'm going to show you a picture of some GitHub art. Bet you didn't know that was a thing. Now, enough of this, let's have a look at our first app that we should install. The first application that I always make sure that I have working is Penderbot. So I've been using this for about 4 or 5 years. Penderbot has saved me loads of time from having to manually bump and keep track of the npm packages in my package.json. So what Penderbot does is it scans npm, scans my code, and then it'll automatically create PRs that will bump up any packages that's noticed has a security issue or vulnerability. So installing it, dead simple, go to the page, just enable it from the marketplace. Now, after we have it enabled, what we can do is then configure it. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at this Chuck Norris app that I've created, which is also available on my GitHub at johndjones-poc Chuck Norris-API. So when it comes to Penderbot, what we want to do is go to the security tab. And from here, you can see that we have Penderbot alerts. So we can have a look at all the notifications that Penderbot has triggered. Got, critical bugs, high bugs, moderate bugs. We can see that we've been adding some PRs. And if I even go to my pull requests right down the bottom, you can see that we've got this PR which has been created by Penderbot. Now, one of the very annoying bits of Penderbot is that it will send you email notifications whenever it's bumping stuff. So this is my repository here. If you'll notice, I have 144 different repositories in here. This means that I pretty much get spammed every single day with Penderbot with emails like this. So what I suggest you do, if you decide that Penderbot is for you, is go back to our repository, go to security, go to the view Penderbot alerts, go to configure, go to my account notification settings, and then scrolly down a little bit. And from here, you can see that we have Penderbot alerts. I've disabled all my alerts, command, web. I don't get any notifications. I can just go to my repositories and then see my pull requests. Next, I want to talk about imaging. Now, we all understand the importance of performance. Every single time that you check an image in source control, you've made sure it's optimized, you've compressed it, you've spent ages making sure that every single image that you've ever used is optimal for performance. Yeah, let's be honest, none of us do it. Out of the big list of stuff we all have to do, we all know we should be doing image compression. It's bottom of the list. It's boring. There's other things to do. So having an app that's automatically going to compress our images whenever we check them into GitHub is going to save us loads of time. And that is where Imagebot is going to help you out. So Imagebot, as you'll probably guess, optimizes images automatically for you without sacrificing any quality. The good news about this is that if you have public open repos, absolutely free to use, just go to Marketplace, install it, job is a good one. Now, after you install it, you can pick which repositories you want to have it work with. And then what will happen is that eventually you're going to get a pull request automatically created for you. So as you can see here, I've got a pull request, which is called Optimized Images 12. Beep boop, my images have been reduced by 41%. You can see the images that I've actually got, how they've been reduced, and it's been automatically created in a pull request. All I need to do is click on merge and boom. I've now got some optimized images and I haven't had to do anything. So Imagebot is going to save you loads of time. It's going to make sure that all your images look perfect and beautiful, just like the Mona Lisa. Ooh. The next application is going to help you level up your code quality, and it will do that by introducing automated code reviews and code analysis into your build process. So I'm definitely not going to go into the pros and cons of code reviews. Regardless if you're junior or a senior, having a third pair of eyes review your code has been proven to increase code quality within a solution. Now, if you're a lone developer, you might not even have someone who can review your code, and this is where Codiga could definitely help you out. So Codiga, nice thing about it, is absolutely free for private and public repos. What happens is after you enable it, you configure which repositories you want it to scan, and then you're going to get access to a dashboard where you're going to get loads of different stats and all that kind of good stuff. Now, one of the things that I really like about Codiga is that it tries to gamify the process. And let's be honest, code reviews, getting told your code's bad, it's not the most enjoyable experience in the world at times. So right off, you can see that we get things like badges, so we can make it a bit more fun. Now, what we can do is click on code analysis. In here, you can see that I've enabled my Chuck Norris API project, so I can view it. And from here, I'm going to get loads of metrics about my code quality. So obviously, because I'm an absolute boss at coding and I haven't fixed this or updated this before I did this video, you can see that the code quality score is 100 because all the code I write is naturally 100% amazing. Now, aside from that, you also get loads of useful information and stats. So have I got any long functions, complicated functions, duplicated lines? Is there any dependencies which have been outdated? It also got a technical debt calculator. So how much is it actually going to cost for me to refactor some of my code if things are in a mess? One of the things that I think it does really well is also gamify the code review process. Clicking on code reviews here, you can see that we can get a list of, all the different code reviews that's taken place. We can get team statistics, so we can see how the team's doing. So maybe we want to have an end of the month competition, and if team can do less violations 1 month compared to the previous month, maybe you can buy them all at pints, whatever it is. We can also do it on an individual level. So if you want to pick on someone, we can say, John's only done 4 violations, but Imagebot over here, 6 violations. That Imagebot, fire him. But yeah, I think Codiga is free. Gives you some really good insights, which will definitely help you level up your code quality. So install it today because it's going to be a massive win for you. The next app is also a goodie, and it's called WhackTime. So WhackTime is going to add productivity time tracking into your GitHub. Now, I've raved on about WhackTime for ages. If you look at some of my previous videos about the best VS Code extensions and the best Visual Studio extensions, you'll also find me referencing WhackTime there. WhackTime is definitely not just a GitHub specific application. It integrates with pretty much every single IDE on the marketplace, including VS Code. It can also integrate with things like GitLab, Zoom, Slack, Google Calendar, you name it, it has a bunch of integrations. Now, after enabling the GitHub application, you can basically link it to your GitHub. What happens is you can then go to the WhackTime dashboard. When you go to projects, you'll see that a list of all your applications and repositories become available. Clicking on it, you're going to get some insights about, the makeup of your languages, what files you've been working on, for how long, how many times your branches have been building, that kind of stuff. Now, the nice thing about integrating WhackTime everywhere is it's free, and then every Sunday you're going to start getting a report. So as you can see in this report, if I zoom in a little bit more, I spent 11 hours doing some coding, 7 hours on, some my Umbraco sites. I've been doing some Markdown, some JavaScript, some C#, been using VS Code, Visual Studio, that kind of stuff. If you are looking for a specific developer productivity time tracking application, that was a mouthful, then WhackTime is a great choice and you won't regret installing it. The next application is another automatic dependency management tool. Yes, I know that we have Penderbot. However, we can also look at Depth. So So Deptfoo and Penderbot, they do similar things. I'd say that Penderbot is probably more security focused, while Deptfoo can give you some good prompting for the minor bumps. Now, it is possible to run Deptfoo and Penderbot at the same time, and I have noticed they do give you different pull requests. Now, Deptfoo is free. There's literally no harm in running both of them at the same time, just to make sure that everything is up to date. Now, after installing and enabling Deptfoo from Marketplace, what happens is you can go across and then you can start enabling your repositories. So as you can see here, we've got my Chuck Norris one, and I've also got my full stack demo. And what happens is when I go down here, I can have a list of all the different dependencies, and I can see if they're updated or need a bump. Ooh. Now, what happens when it comes to actually the pull requests? I'm going to get these automated pull requests. So as you can see here, security upgrade of Next.js 11 to 12. Oh no, it's major. And I can go in here, check that it's looking okay. Ooh, I'm getting loads of information. And I think that's one of the big differences between Penderbot and Deptfoo, is that in the actual PR comment, we have loads of different stuff. It pulls in like the release notes, some security advisories. So I find that you get a lot more information here. So all I need to do now is click merge pull request, confirm request. Jobs are good in. That's me not having to manage any of my dependencies. All I need to do now is just click a few buttons, and Deptfoo and Penderbot can handle everything for me. Cheers, boys. The remaining two applications are all focused on security. However, we're not talking about security of your NPM packages here. We're talking about the security of your code. So if someone in your team is trying to hack something, little scamps here, little scamps. Now, the first tool we're going to look at is called CodeQL. And CodeQL is a GitHub action. So different from an application, what we have with an action is that once it's enabled in our build process, whenever you push a new branch or a pull request, the action will get triggered, your code will get scanned, and if it finds a weakness, your build will fail and you won't be able to check it in. So let's have a look at this in action. What happens is to install our CodeQL, we go to our API project, we go to our actions, this is run a bit slowly, and then go to new workflow. In new workflow, we can do a search. And as you can see, we have CodeQL. So in here, we can just configure it, enable it on our application layer. Now, basically what happens after we enable it is that if we go into our GitHub workflows, you'll find that this CodeQL analysis YAML file has been created. Basically, when this exists in our workflow, we've got this action which has been added into our CI/CD process. And what happens, we can see it in action, is if we go to our Deptfoo commit, if we scroll down the bottom, you can see that we've got some of our actions here. And at the top of the list, you can see that our CodeQL analyzer action has been triggered. So if I click on details, you can see that I've got a setup job, a checkout repository. It's going to initialize some code. It's going to auto build, perform post checks, complete the job. You get the gist. So enabling this action is basically going to make your code more secure. Sneak is the last tool that we're going to look at, or spelt Snook. Now, I used to use Sneak all the time when I first learned about GitHub apps. However, since GitHub Actions have come out, I kind of tend to use it less. But this is kind of the same as Penderbot and Deptfoo. Having 2 free security tools enabled isn't going to hurt, and it's just going to help your cause, so it's well worth enabling it. So what happens with Sneak is that after you enable it, you'll get access to a dashboard. In the dashboard, you're going to see all of your issues, and they're going to be ranked by a score, so you know where to tackle your issues priority first. After enabling it, what you'll see is that within your build, you'll get the security Sneak, and as long as it passes this, your build's going to pass. So as it's saying, very similar to CodeQL, just a different tool. So pick the one which makes you happy, or pick them both, up to you. The aim of this video was to hopefully prove to you, with about a 10 to 15 minutes investment of your time, you can have a kick-ass GitHub workflow. Now, it still amazes me. Back in the day, it used to take me a week or 2 to set up a CI/CD pipeline. Nowadays, with actions and apps, 3 clicks of a button, an hour later, I've got a seriously turbocharged, streamlined development workflow. Again, just proves how old I am. Now, obviously, I haven't done every single app or every single action in detail. If you think I've missed something out, very interested to hear it in the comments below. Also, if you want me to do a video on a specific tutorial on GitHub, let me know. I don't do loads of GitHub stuff, but I'm happy to give the people what they want. I feel embarrassed bringing this up because I know you've already done this. But because we're great friends, I know that you've already smashed on the subscribe button and clicked on the like button because you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And I know that you're a legend. No, I know that you're a living legend. And that's why you did it at the beginning when I asked you the first time around. Didn't you? Now, the other way you can keep in contact with me is through my Sunday newsletter, the Sunday sessions, the link's below. If you just want to see some interesting articles and programming humor, subscribe away. Otherwise, I hope you've got some value from this video. And until next time, people, happy coding.